What if I told you one rookie was responsible for a quarter of an entire league's economy? The answer? Caitlin Clark. And the numbers don't lie. It wasn't just a draft pick, it was a cultural ignition. When the Indiana Fever selected Caitlin Clark with the #1 overall pick in 2024, it marked more than the arrival of a college phenom. It signaled a tectonic shift in the WNBA's trajectory. Clark didn't walk into the league quietly. She stormed in with the weight of a movement behind her, one built during her historic run at Iowa and supercharged by the expectations she carried as a generational talent. But what happened next defied even the loftiest predictions. Almost instantly, Clark became a walking television event. Fever games, once modest in turnout, became sellouts overnight. Her first home appearance? A sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse, with standing-room-only tickets being scalped.
Starting back during her college days at Iowa, however, success hasn't come without controversy. Recently, Clark was named Time's Athlete of the Year. You quote, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege."
Like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Her presence transformed not just the atmosphere, but the business. The numbers confirmed what fans felt. Clark wasn't just popular, she was economic gravity. Overnight, merchandise demand exploded. Jersey sales rocketed, surpassing league and even NBA benchmarks. StubHub couldn't keep up. Ticket prices for Fever Road games soared by 140%, and the average resale price for Clark-led matchups hit $312. That wasn't just an uptick. It was a surge unlike anything the league had seen in its 29-year history. And then came the eyeballs. Television viewership spiked. An Indiana preseason game, yes, preseason, aired live from her alma mater in Iowa, drawing 1.3 million viewers. To put that in perspective, only 2 NBA preseason games since 2010 performed better, both featuring LeBron James. This wasn't hype, this was history. Clark's impact began to ripple beyond basketball. Cities scrambled to host her games. Tourism boards crafted marketing campaigns around her appearances. Visit Indy launched ad buys across Iowa, resulting in a 501% spike in website traffic and hotel bookings. Even major convention planners began scheduling trips to Indiana just to catch a Fever home game. In one season, Clark didn't just fill arenas, she redefined what demand looked like in women's sports. She gave the WNBA its first true touring attraction. And for the first time in league history, basketball wasn't just the product, it was the spectacle. And that was only the beginning. In sports, hype is easy. But impact? That's in the numbers. Caitlin Clark's rookie season didn't just generate headlines, it produced a quantifiable financial revolution. One that can be measured, monetized, and more importantly, traced directly back to her. To understand how the WNBA crossed the threshold from niche league to billion-dollar business, we have to go straight to the ledger. Let's start with the man behind the math, Ryan Brewer, a finance professor at Indiana University Columbus. Brewer wasn't just impressed, he was stunned. His analysis concluded that Clark was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity in 2024. Not just the Fevers, the entire leagues. Think about that. One player, over a quarter of the league's entire financial movement. Now fast forward to 2025. Brewer ran the numbers again, and this time the scale tipped toward $875 million in total impact. With modest inflation and a few more home games, that number eclipses $1 billion. Attendance up 13%, viewership up 23% year over year. League Pass subscriptions tripled, WNBA app users up 613%. It's a cascade effect. ESPN averaged 1.2 million viewers per WNBA game in 2024, a 170% jump from the year before. Social engagement shattered previous records, with over 7,000 branded posts across athletes and partners. And merchandise? Fanatics saw a 500% spike in WNBA sales. Homage, a smaller sportswear brand, exploded with 900% growth, with Clark leading the charge. She wasn't just selling jerseys, she was creating commerce. On StubHub, the 10 most in-demand games of 2025 all feature the Indiana Fever. When Clark's team hits the road, the average ticket resale price increases by 140%. And even more telling, WNBA merchandise sales jumped 236% league-wide since her arrival, and she ranks 6th in all basketball players on Fanatics, including NBA stars. This isn't just popularity, it's conversion. Attention turned into transactions. Even Wall Street has noticed. Investment firms now consider WNBA expansion, streaming rights, and digital platforms as real growth sectors. Caitlin Clark became the model case study for how one player can reshape the ROI of a league. In short, the numbers don't lie. They shout. At the center of this seismic economic shift stands a cultural phenomenon, a 6-foot guard from Iowa who rewrote the rules of women's sports marketing. Caitlin Clark isn't just generating revenue, she's redefining value. For decades, women's sports have fought to justify their commercial worth. Brands hesitated, networks undervalued, investors waited. But Clark didn't just kick the door down, she dragged the culture through it with her. Start with Nike. The $28 million 8-year endorsement deal wasn't just the richest rookie contract in women's basketball, it was a statement. Nike didn't bet on potential, they bet on proof. And Clark was already delivering. That deal sits beside endorsements from Gatorade, State Farm, and Coach. Not charity partnerships. Real high-yield, consumer-driven alignments that work because she moves product. And her influence doesn't stop at the... She's brought something rare to professional basketball: identity. A fan base that transcends gender, age, and geography. The WNBA app's user base exploded by 613%. League Pass subscriptions tripled. These are deep engagement metrics, indicators of repeat, invested behavior. They don't come from casual fans, they come from believers. It's no longer a question of if women's basketball sells. It's who's buying, and the answer is everyone. Look at social media. 7,000-plus branded posts across WNBA players and corporate partners in the past season, many orbiting the Clark effect. Brands like Bumble, Ally Bank, and even Dave Portnoy's Barstool Sports have publicly staked claims in Clark's rise. Ice Cube reportedly offered her $10 million to join his Big Three league. That number wasn't theoretical. It was an act of desperation to intercept a once-in-a... Meanwhile, the expansion gears turned faster. In 2025, the WNBA added its 13th franchise, the Golden State Valkyries. 2 more are set to join by 2026 in Toronto and Portland. But this isn't just about basketball. It's about infrastructure. Cities are building arenas, marketing teams are hiring, and sponsorships are doubling. The Fever alone are constructing a $78 million practice facility, a monument to this new era. This momentum has also reshaped labor dynamics. Last October, the WNBA Players Association opted out of its collective bargaining agreement. Why? Because they see the numbers too. They're pushing for a larger revenue split, closer to the NBA's 50-50 model and more transparent contracts. Clark, as the most marketable athlete in the league, earned just $76,535 as a rookie. That figure, dwarfed by her endorsements, is a reflection of an outdated system, now under a microscope. A fairer CBA won't just reward the players, it will stabilize the entire ecosystem. Stronger salaries drive retention, retention fuels rivalries, and rivalries, they sell stories, seats, and subscriptions. Clark's presence has turned every piece of the WNBA into a leverageable asset, from national broadcast to local tourism, from sneaker culture to corporate boardrooms. She's not just lifting a team or a city, she's dragging an entire league into its future and forcing it to act like a billion-dollar business. Because now, it is one. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the game, she redefined what was possible for an entire league. From skyrocketing ratings to billion-dollar media deals, from sold-out arenas to viral social media moments, her impact has turned the WNBA into one of the most exciting and valuable properties in all of sports. But this is just the beginning. What we're witnessing isn't a moment, it's a movement. And the question now isn't if the WNBA will keep growing, it's how far it will go and how many industries, markets, and lives it will touch along the way. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Her Hoops, your home for daily deep dives, game analysis, and untold stories from across the world of women's basketball. Hit the bell so you never miss a moment of the movement.